Howdy y'all, it's Polish Pete, and this is Just Landed. We got a bunch of Fitzgerald rods in today. We got a reload on the Brian Thrift series. We got some more of the Buddy Gross rods. Still waiting on those Brian Schmidt swim jig rods, which I'm pretty jacked up to get my hands on. But this one here, this series, this is the all-purpose series. We've got a couple guys that work here that are familiar with these and have been telling me for a while these are some of the best sleeper rods for the money on the market. And I can see why. There's a couple models here that I'll point out that are my favorite so far that I've touched. But they have a couple spinning models. We've got a 7-foot medium and a 7.3 medium that have fast actions to them. All the all-purpose rods feature American Tackle stainless steel guides on them, and they're saltwater gauge grades guides. So if you're fishing brackish waters, you want to take a trip, you go down to Florida like I do in the winter a little bit and do some fishing, you don't got to worry about rust or corrosion on your guides. They all have really unique Fitzgerald proprietary blanks. I don't know the exact tonnage of the graphite and all that stuff on there. I'm not finding that information. I can tell you right now that you can tell that they're a little different feeling than most other rods on the market, and I think that's kind of cool. So feel free to obviously come in the shop here and bend them yourself, or you're just gonna have to trust me that these things are pretty unique. The composite, I have 3 composite models here in the all-purpose series: a 7-foot heavy, a 7.3 heavy, and a 7.6 heavy composite casting rod. So these are really powerful, moderate action composite graphite rods though. These are not really super heavyweight glass rods. They're really forgiving. They have a really moving bait action to them. So if you're gonna be throwing big, giant, oversized topwaters with treble hooks, ripping lipless crankbaits out of grass, fishing a deep plug on a ledge or off on a rock pile up here in Minnesota. Anything you're throwing treble hooks or moving baits with, like a chatterbait, the composite blanks will help raise your landing percentage. And what's kind of unique about these is these are much more powerful than traditional composite rods that I've felt. You could get away with a bunch of different single hook application moving baits, I bet you, with these swim jigs, things of that nature, that you could still drive a hook home with. You can tell these guys fish in Florida a lot. These are definitely for fishing in some grass and fishing around some cover, and big fish too. So the composite rods in the all-purpose series are definitely worth checking out. The 2 that I wanted to point out were actually both graphite traditional blanked rods. This is actually the 7.6 heavy here. I love the reel seat. I love the fact that they cover up the threads on the chuck up front. They feel really balanced and light in hand in the composite, or in the all-purpose non-composite models. I really like the way this one feels. I like the reel seat. The 7.3 medium heavy is really nice. Like I said, a lot of blank contact here with their style of reel seat they got in here. They also have those stainless steel guides that I mentioned before on here. They really feel like a really well done rod to be just multi-purpose, exactly what they state on there. So if you're in the market for rods to do a bunch of different stuff with one model of rod versus having to buy specific rods for every single technique, I would highly recommend you check out these Fitzgerald all-purpose rods. They're popular for a reason, I can tell. So stay safe out there and go catch them.